Now, I'm a big fan of doing your research before you book a cruise, but there are some times that you should absolutely ignore the reviews. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, I really am a fan of actually reading reviews, of watching vlogs on YouTube, really, especially those reviews that come from real people. But there are some times that I think actually reading the reviews and listening to what is said could actually steer you wrong. So what I'm going to do in this video is share the 5 times that you should not listen to those reviews, kind of what to look out for, as well as the 1 time you definitely should. Plus, I'm going to give you a couple of tips of what to look for in a good review that's actually going to help you out. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give the video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Number 1, the disgruntled review. Have you ever seen a review, whether it's on Cruise Critic or maybe it's on Facebook in one of the forums, where everything seems to have gone wrong and the person, the cruise passenger, is just seriously disgruntled? So everything is wrong. Maybe their itinerary was changed. Maybe their loyalty status wasn't recognized the way they thought it should be. There were problems. Maybe they had an issue with their travel agent. Now, all of those things could really be very genuine and could really have affected their cruise. So I don't mean this in a judgmental way, but it really just might not be helpful for you. Because if nothing went right on that cruise, chances are it just really isn't a very balanced review. Now, what you could do is you could take a look at that cruise line, at that cruise ship, at that cruise itinerary, and see if other reviews are the same. There is really a good likelihood that this situation happened to that one person, or maybe even on that one sailing. It does sometimes happen, and that situation isn't likely to repeat itself. My rule of thumb is if everything was awful, I'm probably just not even going to look at or listen to that review. Number 2, this is a little bit of a tougher one because this is a case where the reviewer, the cruise passenger, just chose the wrong cruise line. So they have maybe valid things that they really didn't like. However, had they researched the cruise line, they would have known those things and their review would have been adjusted to their expectations. So what I mean is, if somebody goes on a Carnival cruise and they were pretty upset that all of the things that they thought should be on a luxury cruise were not there, well, they booked Carnival. They didn't book a luxury cruise. They booked a fun, good value cruise, and all of those things like the activities and the entertainment and the fun should be there, but the luxury, probably not. Now, I've actually been on some cruise ships that I've had an amazing time on the cruise. I thought things were pretty great. The service was great. The food was delicious. The entertainment was good. And then I read reviews where people on the same ship as me said that it was absolutely awful. The whole cruise was boring. There was nothing to do. The food was awful. And really, it probably just wasn't what they expected. Now, please let me know if this has ever happened to you. I know sometimes we're on the same cruise ship and somehow we have very different experiences. Now, in fairness, I do think there is some value in that type of review, at least in the way that when the person points out all of the things that they didn't like, they might actually be the things that you will like a lot. And of course, if you've done your research, then this is all part of it and you will know that. Number 3, the group think review. Now, what I mean is, I think we probably all sometimes can be guilty of this. This is when we've heard something repeated so often, we haven't even really necessarily read a review or watched a review, but we have a perception of what that cruise line or cruise ship, but specifically probably what that cruise line is, without either trying it ourselves or even watching a genuine fair review or vlog to see if it might be something that we enjoy. And I've been actually guilty of this myself, I will admit. And this actually happened to me. I had this perception about MSC, and in all fairness, I have not sailed yet with MSC, so I do not have a personal opinion, but I've heard probably some good, I've heard probably some bad, I've heard kind of some mixed reviews. and I just haven't tried them yet. However, when I did meet a friend this past weekend at like the Costco, and she told me that she recently sailed with MSC and she absolutely loved it. And being honest, I was a little bit surprised. I knew her personality, I knew which cruise line she had sailed on before, and she told me just how good it was. And it did actually make me think, maybe I should reevaluate sometimes my perceptions or my misperceptions, and I should look into this further. So I will admit I have watched actually a few videos on MSC and some of the cruise ships, and that's definitely on my radar for next year. Now, as a complete aside, if you've ever cruised with MSC, please let me know your own thoughts down in the comments below. I'm genuinely curious. Number 4, the inaugural cruise review. And you'll know if you watched the video that I have, which is all about the cruises that you will be disappointed in if you take them. So basically the cruises to avoid, inaugural cruises are on my list. And the reason is because I think a lot of people end up being disappointed. And I think those inaugural cruise reviews, it's not that they don't have value, they definitely do. However, the reality is that first sailing and even that second sailing, it's going to be way different when you sail on that ship 2 or 3 months later. So while you can look at that review and it's definitely interesting, and if you already have that cruise booked, it can still get you excited, just expect that your cruise is not going to have the same issues that people have experienced on that inaugural cruise. Number 5, the one-off review. Now, this one might be a little bit obvious, but you know the way it is when you're looking at TripAdvisor even, and you look at the excursions, and maybe everybody has a really good review, 4 stars, 5 stars, and then you see one with a 1 star, and maybe they're saying things that really are just very terrible, or maybe it's personal, but basically it's very clear that they had that one-off experience. And really, if all of the other reviews reiterate the same positive things or similar positive things, I would just toss aside that very negative review. Now, I always like these videos to be helpful, so I actually do have one time in particular that you really should listen and really heed those negative reviews. And this is a case where there is a repeated problem that keeps coming up on the cruise ship. Now, what I mean is if there is a mechanical issue, or if people talk about wear on the cruise ship, and it is really something that's repeated in a lot of reviews, I would actually take that seriously, because it could mean that even though that ship is great and was great and will be great again after maybe it's dry docked or after it's refurbished, if a cruise ship has had a continuous problem over several sailings, over a couple of months, there is a good likelihood that that can affect your cruise. It can affect your cruise by the fact that maybe there's a propulsion problem on that cruise ship. And if it's not scheduled for a dry dock, chances are it's not going to be fixed. If it's not fixed, what will likely happen is you might have your itinerary that will change, and maybe you won't be able to go to all of your cruise ports. Now, if that doesn't matter to you, that's just fine. But do be aware of it, because we all do have different choices when it comes to cruise ships in particular, even if we sail within the same line. So that is one time I would really be very cautious and heed those reviews. Now, the kind of review that I always look for, and really the ones that I usually find most helpful, are the reviews that are balanced, so that share the pros, because I think every cruise really does have some pros, and share maybe the cons as well, because that will really help me to get a good idea of if I'm okay with the cons, if I can accept that there is a balance in the cruise, and likewise that I really love the things that are pros. Now, in particular, I did review, I don't know if it's out yet, I think it is out already. I did a little bit of a review, the things I loved, the things I didn't really love about Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas. If you haven't seen that video already, I'm going to leave that at the end of this one. I do actually share, I think it's 7 or 8 things that I really didn't like about cruising with Royal Caribbean. Now, of course, I still did really like my cruise, but I wanted to share these things because I think it is important to share the things that are maybe a little bit the bad points, and not to be negative, but I do think it is important to not just really only present like a rosy view of things. So to be honest, so I am going to leave that video right after this one. Now, please let me know if you pay attention to the reviews, where you think the reviews are the best. Please let me know down in the comments below. Now, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now, and happy cruising.